50. 50.
What day's his birthday?
Monday.
All right, so we might as well get it over with.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to be 50 on Monday.
You didn't say
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be in the nursing home on Tuesday. Well, this is a heck of a lot better than it was last week for those of you who are here. We sat around and commiserated since all you guys were out playing paintball or staying home with your wives so they could attend the women's thing or... Oh yeah, we're in the canoes or work. Yeah, or like Will and Gary here on vacation at the beach. Actually, we were just hating you, is what it was. But we decided we were a pathetic group of people. Here we were, about 25 of us, sitting in here, and all you guys were doing all these things, and we were just thinking, man, we have no life. It's all downhill from here. Good morning. Why don't we start off in prayer? Can I get 3 guys to pray? Anyone? One? 2? HP? 3. So, it's been a struggle for me this week. Just a struggle. And I've realized more this week than any other week that, and I guess I know it, I just don't pay much attention to it, but life's just not fair. All right? It isn't fair, is it? I mean, anybody that thinks life is fair, just want to know, maybe there's some optimist in here that thinks life is fair, life is even, everything works out just the way we planned it. And see, when I started thinking about that, and that's the reason why I got chocolate cake. I figured HB would be salivating over it. Yeah, this is the comfort food. So anyway, when my kids were young, we had chocolate cake because that's one of my favorite. Thank you, Gary. That's one of my favorite things. And so we'd sit down at the table.
There you go.
And my daughter, she was always, that was really good. Sure wish you guys could have a taste. And my daughter, she was always the littlest. She was 4 or 5 years younger than Michael was, so I always cut her a piece. And then Michael, he always liked a lot, so he always got the bigger piece. And and she would look at that and she would say, you know what? That's not fair, Dad. It's not fair that Michael should get a bigger piece than I did. It's just not fair. So what I would end up doing would I'd go in and I'd cut a little bit of Michael's and I'd eat it. Y'all jealous? and try to make it a little fairer. But it didn't make any difference because she was still judging. She'd say, why don't you give me that one? Give me the first choice since I'm the youngest. Let me choose what side I want to choose. And it would always come back to, if she had her choice, she chose the one that was the biggest piece. And I thought about fairness, and you guys can eat this on the breakfast line if you want. I thought about fairness and realized that, you know what, we really don't care about fair unless we get the little piece of cake. Seriously, think about it. We really don't care about fairness. So fairness is a great thing to talk about, but we really don't care about fairness unless we're on the short end of the stick, or unless things are negative toward us. We just don't care. Think about it. All right, so pretend like Gary, Will, and myself, we're going and we're all applying for the same job. We're all equally qualified. We're all equally good looking. We're
I'm the youngest.
They probably get more out of Will than they would out of Gary or I. But think about it. And we're all Christ followers. We're all, I feel like I got crumbs all over my face. We're all praying about this. It's like, God, please, I desperately need this job. We don't have a job. We need this job. So we're all separately praying about that. And suppose I got the phone call, and because it's my birthday, and they said, because it's your birthday, we're going to give you the job. Well, you know what my response would be? Thank you, God, for answering prayer. Thank you, God, for blessing me. What I don't do is I don't go home and I say, God, it's just so unfair for Gary and Will that they didn't get this job. And Gary and Will over here thinking, God, where are you? Why aren't you answering prayers? Do you not care about me? Do you not love me? And I realized it would be a tough job to be God and please everybody. I'm glad it's not my job. I can't even please myself half of the time. But to be able to please billions and billions of people. Think about football games. All right? You got just as many believers praying for one side, okay? And on the other side, you just got just as many believers. I mean, I grew up in a Christian school, and I remember thinking, well, we got prayer on our side. Didn't think about it. It didn't really matter about anybody else. We'll just pray this thing through. Thank goodness God doesn't look at things that way. So the whole point of all of this. Now that would have been a tragedy. That would not have been fair.
That's fair. Nobody's getting paid.
Think about it. When we talk about the thing that we like to see the most, at least I do, is I love to see the underdog. The one that has struggled, the one that didn't have everything handed to him, the one that has overcome all kinds of obstacles. We love movies like that. Now, you got the Rudy movie, where he was a walk-on to the University of Notre Dame, and he only finally played in the last game, and he got a tackle. And that was a great movie. And it's like you're just sitting there and you're rooting for him because he wasn't given the bulk. He wasn't given the talent. He wasn't given the ability to do what he desperately wanted to do. Tracy and I just recently watched a movie that had Sandra Bullock in it. And I don't even remember the name of it. Blindside. Yeah. And this young kid, he's not a kid, he was huge. All right. But came out of a bad neighborhood. Mother was on drugs, alcohol, gangs. And they took him in and they taught him the necessary skills. And even though he had such a hard start and he had absolutely nothing going for him, they took that and they nurtured that. And he was able to utilize his abilities to get a scholarship, full 4-year scholarship to college. And then, recently last year, got drafted by the Baltimore Ravens. I think in the first round. And those are the things I love to see. I love to see people who are not talented, who don't have the abilities, who don't have the upbringing to say, this is what I've got. This is what I've got. This is all I've got. What am I going to do with what I've got? And you know, Jesus talked about that. Talked about it in Matthew. That's what we're going to talk about today. In Matthew 25, he tells the parable of the 5 talents and the 2 talents. And actually, a talent is not a, let's do a song and a dance. It's not an ability. Talent back in the Old Testament times was a sum of money. It could have been either gold or it could have been silver. And it talks about the master